Good evening, everybody. It's me, Dr. Malaika. I am here as usual. Today is Tuesday. It is our Transformation Tuesday. 15 minutes of empowerment, speaking to you about transitioning through change in your life. The reality is that we all go through change, and so this is a transition that we all have to make. And so we are finishing our 5-part series that we did on the butterfly effect. So today is the last week. So hopefully you have been able to be a part of this series. If not, I will be posting on tomorrow the links to the YouTube videos for all 5 weeks so that you can go back and catch up, because I do believe that you need all of the pieces. They will be very beneficial to you beginning that process of change or transition, or navigating the phases of transition if you haven't already. So I do want to plug a couple of things just in case you are not aware. I want to continue to bring to your attention the ebook that goes with this particular series called Beginning Again, and that can be purchased actually on Amazon.com. And it is a very quick read, a very easy read, but it's the supplement for the weeks that we have been going through this particular series on the butterfly effect. I think it's an effective, in-depth way for you to get inspired in order to continue through the change that you're going through, or to decide that enough is enough and I know I need to make change, and I'm going to do that now. Again, the ebook is Beginning Again. It is available on Amazon.com. It is $5.99, and I guarantee you that there will be something in there for you that will inspire you and move you towards progressing through your life and the transitions of life. So with that being said, let me go ahead and recap what we've talked about in these last 5 weeks. The first week we talked about forward movement, because you have to continue to move forward. Anything that doesn't move forward or adapt dies, and you don't want to get stuck in a place where it seems like your life is dead and there is no life and you're just existing. You don't want to exist, you want to live. So the biggest part of that first session was talking about the forward movement. Next, we talked about changing your focus. I gave you my own personal story, my testimony of how I was stuck focused on the other person and my anger and what I felt was done to me, and because I was so focused on that, I lost sight of the goal that was important. All right, so we talked about in session 2 changing your focus. Session 3, we talked about fuel from the fire, the fact that you need to go through these particular transitions of life. You need to go through these different changes, because going through those changes gives you the fuel that you need in order for you to go through all of the different stages of your change, of your transformation, of your metamorphosis. The reason why I said fuel for the fire is because the fuel you get is a lot of times from those bad experiences. So we often don't want to go through bad experiences. They don't feel good. We want to go against that. We say, I would rather go through anything but this. But it's those experiences that actually give you the fuel that you need in order to transition further through life and be equipped and resilient enough to deal with the things that are going to come. And from that, we talked about the fact that without purpose, there is no progress. So if you're moving and there's no purpose in what you're doing, then you're not making any progress. The last session that we had last week talked about shedding old patterns. It seemed like this one resonated a lot with a lot of you, because a lot of you are talking about the fact that you have habits and patterns that you know you need to get rid of, and it motivated you in a way to say, hey, I know I need to make some changes. I need to get rid of these patterns, whether they're mindsets, behaviors, those different things that you know are old and that you cannot take into the new version of yourself. A lot of you acknowledged on the Facebook wall in the comments that you are stuck in that place. You know you need to change the patterns, and that you are motivated to start to work on identifying them and changing them. This week, I want to talk to you about the reinvented you. This is the 5th part of the series on the butterfly effect. This is the reveal stage for the butterfly. So the butterfly has gone through all of its stages. We talked about those in previous sessions. The final stage that the caterpillar, now becoming the butterfly, goes through is the reveal stage. This is the stage where all of what the caterpillar went through is revealed for the world to be able to see. It is able to see the beautiful version of what the butterfly now is. There are a couple things I want you to realize. In this final stage, before you are revealed, you'll notice that isolation is there. I kind of talked about this briefly last week, because the reality is you will go through a period of solitude, and solitude is a good thing. You need to get to yourself. You need to talk with yourself, get to know yourself, become self-aware. It's hard to do that with the noise of life, of people, their opinions, and just everyday things that we have to deal with. You need to have those times of solitude in order to really get clarity on where you're trying to go. The other thing you have to realize too is that there are certain things you have to know about this stage. At this point, you can never go back to who you were before. A lot of times we reminisce and we're emotionally connected to who we were in previous versions of ourselves, and we feel like, and a little bit of nostalgia. We're like, life was so great back whenever. You have to realize that you can never go back to who you were. The experiences of life change you, whether for the good or for the bad, but they do change you, and you can never be that previous version of yourself. It's just like you can never go back to being a baby and being carried around by your parents. You can never go back to learning how to speak. You can never go back to learning the world and not understanding everything around you and everything being new. You can never go back to that. So that's the reality. But what you can do is learn from those experiences that you had, good or bad, bring those things into your current self, and use those tools and resources from previous experiences that will help you in the new version of who you are. So you can't go back. So you got to realize that. The next thing you have to realize is that you're going to have to evaluate the circle that is around you. A lot of times we don't consider the people that we keep as a company with us, those who are our closest intimate circle, who advise us, who listen to us, who influence us with their behaviors and their thought processes and how they view the world, their world views. So we have to realize that our circle matters. So you cannot just say, I've been friends with this person for 20 years. I've been friends with this person for 30 years. And so because I'm a loyal person and because they've always been there for me, that they always have to be a intimate and intricate part of your process. You may find that you don't discard people, because I don't believe in that. I am a very loyal person. My friends are like my family, and I treat them as such. I don't treat them as friends. I treat them as if they were my siblings. I treat them as if they were, adopted aunts and uncles. That is how I view my friends and family. But people that I was necessarily close with or part of my circle in high school is not necessarily part of my circle today. And I have to realize that my circle will evolve as I evolve. As I transition, my circle will change. You're going to have to realize that too. You're going to have to realize that you are the sum total of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. They influence you. So you will think like them. You will speak like them. You will have mannerisms like them. You guys will have inside jokes, inside things that only you guys get. That is the reason why your circle matters. So you may have to examine your circle. If you feel like you're in a place where you shed a lot of the old patterns that you have, and you've made these steps of transition, but for some reason you feel like you're at a wall and no progress is happening, you may need to evaluate your circle. People may be silently being negative and casting negativity into your transition. That's not what you want. It doesn't mean you tell them, hey, we can no longer be friends. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that you may have to change what their role in your life is. And this just doesn't apply to friends. This also can apply to family. We can pick a lot of different things, but we cannot pick our family. Our family is our family. We are born into it. We have no say-so over that. But their role in our life will change as we get older. I have a lot of brothers and sisters. The reality is we're all grown, and the transition has happened to where we're now all grown with families. Their role in my life is not the same as it was when we were younger. Now it's an active relationship that we have to have with one another, and we have to want to be a part of each other's lives just because of all of the things we have going on in our own intimate personal families. So you will see that even with your family, their roles will change. you will find that we will allow people to sow negativity into our circumstances and into our transition simply because of the fact that we're related by blood. You do not have to allow that. You can evaluate and categorize and place people in the positions that you would like to have them in your life. That is important because you don't want all of the progress that you've made to be undone because you have other people who do not believe or cannot see the vision that you have for your life. The other thing I want you to also remember is that you cannot get complacent. Complacency is a very bad thing. Complacency is the antithesis of change. If you are complacent, you will not make progress. You can never get to the point where you've gone through all the transitions, you shed those patterns, you become a better version of yourself, and you see this new reinvented you, and all of a sudden you get complacent because you see, I'm not who I used to be. You cannot do that. You're going to continue to make these changes. It's going to continue to be a process where you will change. Every part of your life will have multiple transitions. It will have multiple changes that will occur. Be open to those things. Who you are today may not be who you are in 6 months. It may not be who you are in 2 years. You will have possibly made multiple transformations in that time period. Don't fight against it, because every time you shed those old patterns, every time you shed those old skins, that old you've expanded yourself even more. The shedding is the expansion, and the expanding is a good thing. It means you're broadening yourself, you're opening yourself up, your worldview is changing, you're seeing the world through different eyes and different experiences, and now you also have tools and resources that you can help someone else that is in an earlier stage that you used to be in transition through what they're going through because you understand that experience. So do not get complacent. Make sure that you're always striving for more. So going back to that circle and examining your circle and striving for more, you don't want to always be the smartest person in your group, in your circle. You don't want to be the most accomplished person in your circle. You always want to have people in your circle that are doing more than you, that are more accomplished than you, that have seen more than you, that have more life experience than you, which means not necessarily age. There could be people your age in your circle that have experienced a lot of things, but you want to have more accomplished and people at a higher level than you in your circle, because that will push you to always want and strive for better, for the next thing. And don't beat yourself up if you have a misstep. Don't beat yourself up if you feel like you took a step backwards, because you can always continue to go forward. But stay hungry. That's the one thing I will say, is to stay hungry. Never, ever, ever feel satisfied, because when you're satisfied, you will not strive to fulfill and get more out of life. So that is basically our time. As I told you, our time goes super, super fast. And I do enjoy having these 15-minute sessions with you guys. Continue to give your feedback on the Facebook page of how this has impacted you. Again, reiterating that the ebook that goes with this series is available on Amazon, Beginning Again. You can search for it under my name, Malaika Brown, and it is $5.99 for you to purchase. Easy read. I know that you guys will find something that you will enjoy, that will empower you, that will inspire you. Hi, Andrea. Doesn't matter that you're late. You can get the rebroadcast after this. I do want to let you guys know that starting next week, we will start a new series. This series will be a lot longer. It's about 10 parts. We're going to be talking about emotional resilience, because going through transition, it tries your emotions, and you need to be able to learn on what do you need to do to be emotionally resilient. And a lot of this is looking at how to look at your life and what it is. And the reality is, my life is what it is. I can't have a pity party. What can I do to make it better? Or what can I learn from these experiences to go forward? So we will be talking about that. And there will be a book that will be coming out of that series. It is a very candid and a very upfront book. The title is Letters to a Bitter Sister, Taking Accountability for Your Life. And it is me talking about being a bitter sister. And so even though I will be speaking from a female point of view, I do not believe that it's exclusive to women. I do believe that men can get something from this. And I also believe that being in relationships, it's helpful for men to understand the female mindset and how we process the stuff that we go through. So remember, that's what we're going to be talking about in the next 10 weeks, 10 sessions or so, we'll be talking about emotional resilience, taking accountability for your life, and not playing the victim. Because bad stuff happens to everybody, but you do not have to be a victim. You can be a victor. So I love you all. I hope to hear from you guys. If you came in late, go back and rewatch the broadcast and leave your feedback. I look forward to hearing from all of you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.